How about you today? You letting that sweet emotion carry you away? The real kind, man. All the games we've played, all that nastiness we've laid in this here old reality, all the little I gotta have more, gotta have more, gotta have more, gotta have more, gotta have more. Never be satisfied no matter how gratified you might be in a moment of time, baby. It's just never enough. And here's a whole nother generation coming up in that shadow, that cloud. Never enough, never enough. I want more, baby. When all we gotta do is learn to slow down. Yeah, go a little slow. Get out of that herd, don't you know? Be the lone buffalo that creates a herd just by being where he is and says, hey, baby, the vibe over here is much better. Over here, the herd can get it clear, and pretty soon they come galloping your way, okay? Just the way it works in this 3D, don't you see? Well, what's 3D? Well, okay, Grandpa talks about it all the time. You should have caught on by now, but just in case you ain't, well, 3D is the world we live in, or seem to be. You know, this one where we're birthed out of our mother's body and given a diaper or two and then taught how to be well, I'm not going to say it, but, rather less than a real person than what we are, rather less. Sell yourself short, your life does abort. No, you don't go off as a dead person. No. What that means is you go off as a dead person, man. Though you seem to be alive and you're walking and talking and even got a little bit of that sweet emotion left. Just enough to get you in trouble, man. It just sweeps you away every time, wouldn't you say? You just think, this is about time you think, finally I'm strong enough to do it on my own. You got a good life created and everything's going well. Some little chickie hunker or some handsome dude comes along and gives you a little wink and you go, oh my goodness. Next thing you know, you're in deep, man, You think that's love, and you think that's real, and you think all that fighting and partying is the deal when, shit, there ain't nothing real there to it. Nothing at all. You're lying to each other, therefore all your activities are lies too, don't you know? I know you honestly felt the love. You honestly felt the flow, right? That's why you had to go, right? Right? No. That's passion, baby. A little bit different. It's an aspect of emotion, of course, but, passion's just a little bit different. Because it says basically, I am hungry, I need food. And it goes after whatever it sees that food might be, whether it's a lover or, a big fat meal down. Yeah, baby's aboard the spaceship love. Now, it doesn't get much better than this, but it does. Because we prove it to you day after day by taking you another way. A new direction, a new way to play, another way today, man. It's a Wowzer Wednesday. What does that mean? Well, we got to wowse your little arse off and get it back on while we're at it, but in far finer condition than it was before we took it out and overhauled it, okay? Your arse needed it, man. Look, remember, see? No, you don't even remember now because you think it's always been that golden thing you're wearing now. No way. Grandpa gave it to you right here, right now, today, you see. So now I own you and you owe me. You see? Okay, now it's back to slavery, man. I kind of like that, Slaves, but, well, I can't think of anything I really need a slave for anymore. So I guess you slaves are free, okay? You got the best of me, man. You always do right here in this hazy radio network when Grandpa's here early in the day helping your little heart come out and play and become the gigantic force in this reality that it truthfully is. And you think your heart's meek, mild, and just a tiny bit wild. Yeah, right. You ain't seen nothing yet. That sweet emotion you thought was so cool that made you such a fool. I mean, it's fun to be a teenager every now and then. It's fun to just get carried away. And nobody can blame you for it. It's all okay, even though it works out rather ruggedly, wouldn't you say, especially when children are involved and all that nonsense. See, we kind of lost the vibe a long time ago when we lost the tribe. Yeah, the tribal reality. And I'm not talking about the indigenous folks, but they sure got a good representation of it. But it falls short. I'm sorry, for all the traditions, all the magic, and all the in tune with nature, etc. It falls short. But what's the reality? What's the truth? What's the real deal? Where is this tribe? What are you talking about, old man? Well, listen. Here on this little coyote medicine show we call Spring Creek, don't you know, from the beginning, baby? Well, here it's like a flow. It's a vibration. a vibrational harmony, a tone in that harmony, a tone that several people play together. Now, they may or may not, at this stage of the game, be blood relatives, because our soul presences have been mixed up, knocked around, put down, brought back, put over there, put over there, put over there, and it's up to us to create the energy field to bring it all back together. Now, some people dream of going out and buying some land and starting a community, man, and they go out and try and do it, man, and most of the time it blows back in your face, because nobody else is ready, or so it seems. But see, as long as you're fueling those dreams, it's all cool. Whether it comes into being right now or it waits 100 years, it's all okay. You made the effort. You put your own willingness, your own life forward into it. You said, okay, I'm willing to give up all of this, nastiness we call, living in the 3D in one little house with one little partner and 2.5 kids and a cat and a half and a dog or two, that just won't do. You see how isolated we are? There's no room for emotion. There's no room for emotional growth. There's not even room for respect for one another, because you're living together, you begin to despise one another. Even though you're in agreement on most everything, there's these few little things you do that drives him crazy, and him you too, and he won't ever settle down, and whatever, man, It's always going to be a little aggravated until you see through it, man. That's a game we've been played in. Played is the word, yes, just like pawns in a chess game, man. And that's just essentially what we've been, working our way through that. We always thought that was normal. I couldn't stand it. See, I was raised a little bit out in the country, but I still had Urbania around me in a small way. That small town stuff we started out with today, Well, okay. But man, when I started encountering the cities and people boxed in and, crapping on top of one another in their fancy little apartment buildings and so on and so forth, and everybody so isolated and alone, I says to myself, no, never, never, never. Now, I did live in a city a time or two, but as usual, I was very creative about it. But, basically, I've lived most of my life out here in the country where it's a little wild, and the wildness is something that nature produces. So, it's a different level of dealing with the wildness. There in the city, you got to deal with the greatest isolation there could ever be. It's amazing. You got an assembly, 3, 4, 5 million people. 20 million people in some places, and nobody knows anybody anymore. We're all isolated, separated. If we got a group, it's probably a swingers club, bub, or some crap like that. No chance for a real life. No chance for getting together and, talking about the good things in life and sharing the wealth of our heart and helping each other out, because this person's got that problem's got this person, and this person's over there got to try and do that while you're over there trying to do that. But see, we all working together naturally, even though we're as fractured as can be, just shattered into these individual little houses of one sort or another. And sometimes they're pretty poor excuses. And notice the real slavery here, how expensive it is just to pay rent in this reality. Shit. And nobody questions it. Everybody just goes along with, well, a few might mumble and grumble just because it's so expensive, but nobody questions it. People get 3 jobs so they can afford it, so they can keep a roof over their head. When in fact, if you're living naturally, if you're letting your heart control the flow instead of your little old programmed and conditioned head, well, baby, that's where you're dead, is in the head. So the life of your heart has to come back up and give your old head a kickstart, okay? Now, that's not kicking it in the head. That's kicking it like you do when you kickstart your motorcycle, man. You get up on that old peg there and you stand on that mother trucker and you dance on it and shove it down with severity. And maybe you're lucky it don't backfire and break your leg. And cranks right up, see? That's what a kickstart is, see? And then you go, starts out kind of cold like them old Harleys do. And then they get a little warmer and a little warmer. Pretty soon they're going, they're ready to go, them old steel horses, don't you know? Well, see, you got to be just like that. Allow your heart to give yourself this little kickstart. Now, it's going to feel weird as doo-doo when you begin. It just is, because it's so out of the realm of the life you've been living. Yeah, I mean, it's just not the same at all. Yet, you're going through the motions of the same old life, and it just in a totally different state of being. Amazing how that works. And as you do, because you never let that dream go, no matter how dead your head got, man, Well, as this heart gives it a little kickstart, you start creating the radio waves, man, radio waves, that will bring others your way, or you their way, or however the case may be. And you start a reassemblage in this reality. Now, a lot of this already ongoing, man. But there's a whole lot more to go, because we sure got a whole lot of lost souls out there running around Urbania, here in the USA and Canada and Mexico too, man. We got to get the people back together. The circle of life has to recreate itself in that tribal vibrational harmony that it be. So, babies, listen to your heart. What's the song you're singing? Is there anybody around you there in the 3D that sings it with you? Well, babies, if they're not, maybe it's time for a new start. Maybe it's time to go someplace else, don't you know? Maybe you have to leave behind everything and everyone you ever dreamed of in order to fulfill the ever-present dream in your heart. Maybe you won't have to. Maybe everybody goes along. Maybe you got a good start on a tribe right there in your little family unit, But you've been isolated and separated. You've been made into Presbyterians and Methodists and Indians and Catholics and, Jewish people and people like that. All these categorizations, all these ways we have of putting ourselves separate from one another and trying to recreate the tribe. But what it does is just separate us more. And we don't get the vibe from the tribe we identify with, whether it's a religion, a race, or whatever. We don't get the vibe. We don't get fed by that. We get hit in the head by that. Makes you even more dead. It doesn't encourage life and living. It encourages competition and violence in that competition. Just the way it is. Heartlessness, man, in the 3D. But see, we're here to learn a lesson about all that no matter how dumb we get, or how dumb we are, and how violent we've been, that little heart inside of us is bigger than the whole universe. And it includes all of this. And the moment we're willing to see beyond this hellhole, we step right out of the 3D and join with our tribe quite naturally in the sky. Yeah, babies. Shit. Y'all got wings. Y'all can fly, man. Don't you know that? Oh, you don't? Well, all I can do is say it. Until the day you want to play it. Till the day you want to let your feet leave the ground, and then you be found, man, you see. And what all that takes is a little willingness, because you give an indication to the spaceship love flying high above, and this should just bring you right on board, man. Bing! Just like that. You won't feel no dissolution or re-resolution of yourself in that teleportive sort of way. Hell no, you just float in there, man. Your conscious presence and your little material body right along with it. But in the process, it begins transformation, because you can't contain, an archangelic presence in a tiny little carcass like this, no matter how big and heavy you might be. You're just trying to give it an anchor, don't you see? So much lightness, so much brightness around you. You've been trying to put that light out forever and ever. It's like a flea on your chest, man, but you just can't get it. Because it's there, baby, as a reminder of the fire of life inside of you and where it's bringing you to and what you're living for. In case you don't remember, let me just cue you up a little more. It's that dream that we all hold. Everyone has a personal version of it, it seems. Yet the dream is the same dream. Everybody living happily, everybody helping each other out, nobody having to worry or suffer ever again. No more illness, no more accidents, no more hatred and violence based on that hatred, etc., etc., etc. Just give a little anchor to this peaceful feeling that we're radiating here from 9,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, because that comes from you, girl and guy. Ooh, I love you guys so. You're so much fun, man. I tell you what, this is like being a teenager all over again, partying with you guys day after day. Grandpa gets away with a lot, don't he? Yeah, and the nice thing about it is totally innocent, and nobody's hurt or harmed by any of our little shenanigans. In fact, you might be going through the day later on, just get a little flash of what went on here in that little stash moment. You go, wow, chuckle, 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 and on down the road you go, but you're expanded a little more, see? And you never know when the old penny drops into 3D and all of a sudden you catch on in a big way. As long as we keep feeding you day after day here, Monday through Friday, you're never going to be hungry. And guess what? Won't you find that satisfaction? You got the Action Jackson. You're always going to be satisfied. And you're never going to be hungry for anything. Not for loving, not for money, not for food, not for a home, not for clothes, not for anything, man. It just all comes naturally provided for you. Because you step back into your true reality and join your tribe in the sky aboard the spaceship Love. And we can party then, okay? I mean, I'm getting tired of being stuck here at 9,000 feet. I need some altitude, don't you? Well, let's get high together today. Let's open our heart and see where it takes us, eh? That's what I'd say, okay? Well, that's just me and little Obi-Wan Kenobi and, about 10 gazillion angels and a few warpages in the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all them dimensional presences that come around and kind of twist things up and twist them around. So we just get to unnarl it all by letting it unnarl inside of ourselves. It's simple and it's sweet and it's pure and it's complete. Let it be, okay, man, don't go falling for the old deal no more. It's all too appealing, man. And I know the feeling of it. I've been in those places where there's millions and millions of dollars staring me in the face, and I'm compromising the shit out of myself while thinking I'm doing an honorable thing. I've been there, done that, man, but fortunately, the angels spared us all the grief and agony of that. Thank you, kind angels, man. I tell you what, because I was such a blind-eyed bimbo back in those days. Well, listen, you're going to grow up in any sort of way to be able to help others come out and play. In other words, gain a little divine wisdom. You got to be a hairball in this life. You got to just let yourself go with the flow. Don't be wild just for wildness' sake. So that feels good at times too, and that's part of the plan. But whatever comes to you, man, just go through it, man. Just do it. You don't have to overreact. Oh my God, that dirty SOB, that thing fell off that truck and trashed my car, and now I've got to, or you go, wow, baby, what was that? Man, my car's going down. Well, it's okay. Look how rich I am today, and we'll get it taken care of. And maybe somebody can chase that trucker down and get his insurance information for me, trucks all have to pass through weigh stations, etc., man. You know what I mean? Or maybe you got uninsured motorist coverage. We all carry that in the spiritual sense, man. So if we happen to collide accidentally with the wrong person, we're automatically forgiven. We got to get out of jail free card and all that kind of shit, okay? Well, man, if you keep a good attitude, no matter what kind of ingratitude comes your way here in this 3D, it's all going to be okay, because you are. You see? It's just a matter of allowing yourself to settle peacefully with all the energies inside of you. To see past and beyond the programming. Now you got to understand you are programmed. And you got to see that. Because then you can let it go. And God is probably too much of a tense word. Pressure, pressure, pressure. So I don't say gotta, I say oughta. Okay? I have to remember that. No gotta, you oughta. You ought to see that you've been conditioned here in the 3D just by the family, just by the culture, just by the schools. Man, the schools are nothing but, brainwashing emporiums these days. They always have been, but they're worse than they've ever been because they're more blatant about it. And the teachers just throw, as sincere as they can be, throw their hands in the air and I don't know what to do, man. They want us to do this, that, and the other, and I know it ain't right, but I got to go blah, blah, blah. Imagine how fast this reality is if we quit excusing ourselves into those compromises, whether it's for a few $1,000,000 in biz or just to keep your tenure and your teaching position, Just say no. Be like Nancy Reagan, man. Look how frustrated old Ronnie was. He never got laid, man. She had no down. Well, you school teachers and all the rest of us, too. Got to be having that on as well, man. Wear it on your chest in a little medallion. No. But then when the right thing comes along, turn it around and it says yes with a green light and all that shit. You got to be ready for anything, I'm telling you. When you're going steady with the heart, you're going steady with the real love of life, and there ain't nothing else. That's it. That's all of it, but that's something you can infinitely study and appreciate in a very, very divine sort of way. You can go and feel the most intricate feelings, from the tiniest of piss ant and get squished under a foot to the most gigantic of angelic creations to ever be holding the realm of the universe together, etc., you know. You get to feel it all, because you are all of it. It's of our heart it is created. And when I say our, I'm talking about the human race and our Mother Earth with us. We're kind of a singular unit, like one great big old molecule that makes everything else grow. You know what I mean? Out of us comes all the rest of the life. It's all about how we perceive it. And no, that's not how you receive it. That's how you give it. That's how you live it. You know, receive is a result of what you've already created, man. So don't ever get lost in this victimization and thinking how poorly you've been treated in this reality. Take a look at the other side of this thing, beyond the 3D. Get it multidimensionally. Look at the higher side of it. Maybe you were sacrificing a part of your life to try and salve a wounded soul. Maybe that was the whole reason you had that 10-year relationship with that person. As wild and as woolly as it could get. Nearly died a couple, 3 times, didn't you? But you always come back to life. And you knew there was something compelling you that you couldn't understand. But you knew you had to be there, at least for a while. And forever if things changed around, which, well, unfortunately, they changed a different way. But no matter, you done your duty, you know, to your heart and to the loyalty of love in the universe that provides for everyone continual opportunity to grow and reflect upon that growth and get some more because of that reflection, don't you know? What's reflection doing? That's creation. And when you're reflecting, that doesn't mean living in the past. When you're reflecting on what already is, when you're feeling it and being it, you know, well, then you become that reflection and it wants to grow. It's the greatest urge there could ever be, way beyond anything in this animalistic 3D we ever even dreamed of. And we call it animalistic loosely because the animal's far more enlightened than we. Up until certain stages here, okay, now we're getting it underway. Because you came here today to get a fresh drink of water with Grandpa Coyote and my little Obi-Wan Kenobi and all these divine angels hanging out. Baby, we got the best angels just like you do, man. Shit. Ain't nobody got angels like we got angels, I'm telling you what. It'll be great if you do. Oh, wow, I'm lapsing into a rump. Oh, man, oh, well, see, we're all one. You can tune into anyone, and you can be everyone. And as a result, you can help them along, because you can see far more clearly than they ever be. But as you see, then that provides that opportunity to that other person too, see. So don't be afraid to project your energy there in a helpful sort of way, okay? It's all part of the deal, man. No big deal. Just be who you are, but be free enough to empower your compassionate side. That which wants to see everyone else have the high ride. Even before you, but not behind you, dang it. Bring them all around, baby, because you're ready in yourself to complete the process of seeing through the 3D joking reality. Now that's a fresh drink of water on a Wowzer Wednesday, man. And if your eyes ain't clearing, well, your heart is, baby, and your eyes will soon thereafter, okay? Just take a look at this and you'll see what I say. Here on the Hazy Radio Network, Grandpa Coyote, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and a whole raft of mischievous little persons helping us get it right, okay?